there's a whole nother side to this beast that I did not know was there. Hello, fine people of the internet. On our final episode of the Rat Trap rebuild, we went out, took it for a ride, did that little short motovlog thing I was talking about, and we got a couple little quirks we need to work out on this beast. So one thing I noticed more so on the way back in, anything beyond about 50-55 miles an hour was not achievable. It's not acting like it's getting any fuel past a certain point. And you can see here, as I would give it more throttle, there was just nothing there. You could hear the carbs open up a little bit, but there was no power there. She was not breathing any better. So that leads me to think one of two things, and the first one I'm thinking is fuel. So when I put the carb kit in the carbs, I happened to notice that one of the main jets, because these carburetors use a primary and secondary main, one of the main jets was smaller. What came out was a 115 in each carb, and I believe what went in from the kit was like a 108 or something, but I have the memory of 10-second Tom. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to read that spark plug. I'll kind of explain what we're looking at and figure out where we're going from there. Chances are we're going to be dropping the bowls on the carburetors to change those main jets out. Hopefully there's enough room between the carbs and the case to drop the bowls, change jets. Let's get into it. We'll pop a spark plug and see what we're looking at. And suspicions confirmed. Let's look at this thing a little bit closer and we'll go over what I'm seeing here. Okay, so this is going to be like a quick and dirty explanation of how to read a spark plug. One thing you can see here is you have a little color change on your arm coming over the electrode in there. Where that color change happens will actually tell you about your ignition timing. So ideally you want your color change to happen right at the bend of the arm. It's not really something you can adjust on a motorcycle, but you know, a car, if you're working on an old car with a distributor that you can adjust timing, that's just an old handy thing to know. What I'm looking at, the color of that insulator after the engine's run for a little bit, will tell you about your air-fuel mixture. So your top portion of the ceramic insulator here, like right around the top of the electrode, around this top edge, that is like your idle air-fuel mixture, or just barely cracking the throttle. The upper portion of the outside of the ceramic is more like your part throttle, quarter throttle, and if you can look way down in there, the further you can see, the more in the range of the air-fuel mixture it is. There's some science behind that we're not going to get into here because this is the quick and dirty version. So, as you can see, this guy is pretty white actually, right? Well, what we're actually looking for in a good air-fuel ratio is somewhere around the color of this cardboard that we're using for a backdrop. You want that like paper sack tan. So as you can see there on the end of our insulator, we do have a little bit of coloration which says that our idle air fuel is pretty close. But as I tilt this, you'll be able to see a little further down inside there and notice that it is like a paper white color. And this may be kind of hard to get on video because it's a pretty light color gradient. I'll do what I can in post-processing to try and make that easier to see. But the lighter that color is down in there, that points to a lean air fuel mixture. Basically, the darker the color, the more fuel it's getting. So if you're somewhere around a paper sack or a cardboard brown color, you're actually doing pretty good. But this is a little light all the way around. So we know that we're lean, and the idle air fuel mixture is easy enough to set. We can adjust that with a screw. My main concern right now is on that main jet because there's not a lot of adjustment other than changing the main on these carburetors. So that's what we're going to get into now. We'll see if we can drop these fuel bowls, and we'll double check what those main jet sizes were. Let's go! Real quick while we're here, thought I would verify that the secondary main was the correct size also, since these do use a primary and secondary, and it is correct. While it does only happen on rare occasion, I was correct. 108 main jet. So we're gonna pull both bowls. We'll swap those mains out. One down, one to go. And while I don't claim not to be an idiot, don't follow my lead unless you're well aware that you're going to strip these things out if you're not careful. These are not hex heads, they're Phillips heads, so please be gentle as I continue to use a socket and a ratchet. Well, that was a big resounding no. We're going to throw the right heat range of spark plugs in it, for one. And after doing some scouring on the internets, I ran across the Hondatwins forum. According to those guys, everybody who has managed to get pod filters to run on these carburetors, they've had to go to 90 and 125s. So that is the plan. We're going to get some jets ordered in, swapped into the carbs, and we'll go for another test ride. Oh, dude. Yeah, it already feels like it wants to run away so much more. There's a whole nother side to this beast that I did not know was there. It's crazy to think that I was running on the pilot jet basically this whole time because it was running so lean on top. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can break the speed limit now. I mean, totally not going to break the speed limit, but we could. I mean, if you guys wanted to. There's something that'll make you break speed. Holy crap. I didn't realize they had cut across the highway out here. It'd be real cool if these guys would, like, you know, put up signs for road construction or something. That's a crazy thought, right? There we are, guys. The internet wins again, I guess. So I've ended up with a 38 pilot jet, a 90, I guess would be the primary main jet, which on these carbs turns out kind of fills the gap between the pilot and the secondary main, which has your needle going through it. And really, it was, you know, it seemed like a huge jump to me because a lot of my jetting experience has been on like ATVs in the past. Most adjustments that we made while we were racing and stuff was it would be to go from like a 170 to 175 or a 175 to a 180 or something like that, right? I never would have dreamed going up 18 sizes on one of the mains and then 10 sizes on the other as like a starting point. We may have to do some little tweaks here and there, but man, let me tell you, this thing, it does not feel like it falls flat anywhere. We'll say that. We'll do another plug reading just to see what color we're getting now. My bet is we're actually going to have a little bit of brown on that thing. Yeah, I feel like this thing's going to be a little bit more fun on back roads now. We've got a set of jets in here. The thing at least tries to run and not fall completely and totally on its face once we hit the speed limit, so that's a plus. As usual, I appreciate you guys watching the video. If you've made it this far, smack the like button, let people know that you watched it and it didn't suck. Or if it did suck, hit the dislike button. That's what it's there for. Let me know. Feel free to drop a comment down below. I try to reply to everybody if at all possible. And I think that's going to wrap it up for this one. Till the next little project anyway. I mean, we've still got the rear fender and all that stuff to do. So, if you're still around, check out the video on the left. If you're not yet, smack the subscribe button on the right. You can catch me pretty much every Tuesday making a fool of myself out here on a bike. But as always, guys, stay safe, stay sane. We'll catch you next time. Peace.